over 100 years ago, Europe was under feudalism. Feudalism was when kings and knights were controlling Europe, when 1% of the population maintained over 90% of the wealth. In feudalism, there was no growth, there was no innovation, there was no improvement to quality of life. There was only constant conflict and stagnation. But something happened in Europe. It was a technological advancement that gave power back to the people. That technological advancement was the crossbow. Crossbow enabled a peasant yielded it to have the ability to kill a trained knight with military experience and years of training. And that itself leveled the field. Now in 2017, it is confirmed that 0.7% of our entire population owns 46% of overall wealth. That is $280 trillion in the hands of a few. While the rest of the population, well, 60% of the population has only access to about 3% wealth. Now think about how much potential we're missing here. 60% of the population does not have the same resources that we do. They're struggling with their financial situation. We need to solve that problem. We need to unlock that. In US, we have a system called the accredited investor. Now, accredited investor is basically an individual that has, in 2 years, a combined income of $200,000 or 1 year million net worth. And what that allows you is you're able to purchase certain securities, certain assets. And accredited literally means somebody who has like special privilege and authority. And in US, there's only about 12.5 million people that yield that status. Meaning there's so many people left out of becoming part of the financial system in US alone. Not to mention the rest of the world. But it does not have to be like this. In 2008, we have seen a new financial asset emerge called Bitcoin. Now this is a very interesting tool that I will dedicate a whole other talk to and will not focus on today. Instead, I want to turn your attention towards blockchain. Now blockchain, there's a lot of hype behind this word, but in essence, it's a distributed ledger that allows for decentralized applications to exist. Distributed meaning that its power does not run on a single computer, it's spread out across multiple networks. And decentralized meaning that it does not have one single point of failure, it's not one node running everything, but multiple ones. And it's harder to take it down because an attacker has multiple targets instead of one. And so distributed ledger is sort of like an umbrella technology. Lots of cool innovations fall under it. And I want to turn your attention towards Ethereum. Ethereum is a platform specifically designed for building decentralized applications. And the way it works, there's a key innovation that Ethereum allows called a token. A token is basically a unit of account, a medium of exchange in a lot of cases for a certain organization. Anybody can code a token on the Ethereum platform. And a main use case for it right now is ICOs, which are initial coin offerings. I'm sure some of you heard of them. It's when a company issues tokens, people buy it, and they fund the company's operations. So token itself is a very complicated technology, but I will help you understand it by narrowing it down to 4 main benefits which the token represents. First one being fractionalization of large assets. So how is this possible? The token allows this because a token can be divided into multiple fractions, and you can for a certain asset that you're tokenizing, you can name how many tokens you want for it, how many those tokens will be divided into, and then this enables like things like Empire State Building. You can own a part of it, or a painting, or pretty much anything. Next benefit is liquidity. Liquidity is how easy it is to purchase or sell an asset, and how long do you have to hold on to that asset. It would be a huge turnoff to know that once you purchase something, you need to spend months or even years holding it, like a VC fund or a hedge fund. The way tokens allow that is in order to settle a transaction, in order to do anything, it's verified by the Ethereum network. You need to pay a certain percentage of a fee to a node in the network, and all that transaction will settle within seconds. You don't have to wait much. Third benefit is transparency. So this is a token that I coded Walmart coin. And basically, you can see that you can pretty much examine everything here. You can see it, you can read the contract code, addresses, transfers. Now imagine an investment that you want to make, you have access to pretty much its entire history. You can see who owns what, how much of that person owns. So it's just an amazing transparency given to it. And final bonus is lower issuance fees. It does not take a lot of money to create and tokenize something. So pretty much, all you need to do is write a few lines of code, make sure you're not abiding by all the laws, and you can issue out your own token. So in a nutshell, in a combination, these four benefits, fractionalization, liquidity, transparency, and lower issuance fees, combine together to equal greater market efficiency. Now imagine these new financial assets, which are huge, which you couldn't purchase before, being put together in smaller bits, sold easily between different individuals, and running on a completely transparent network. And they're so easy to create that there's so many of them. And now you don't need to be an accredited investor to be able to participate in the financial system. An individual with simply like a phone and a computer and an internet connection can be a part of this amazing system. So let's make the Ethereum token the crossbow of our era. Let's level out the playing field. Thank you.